Guys, Kancha Ilya is a social activist who has expressed the voice of downtrodden. Guys, he is a preeminent writer of Dalit literature. In his book Why I Am Not a Hindu, he describes his own experiences at school and points out the wide gulfs that exist between the upper caste children and the Dalit children at all levels. Guys, the children from the downtrodden families find it difficult to follow the school textbooks. Thus, Dalit child's school life leads to his alienation. Even their own Telugu language and the textbooks have an alienation effect on them. Guys, he describes the situation of the Dalit students of that time, and he says the students from Brahmin Baniya families were privileged, better dressed, and better fed. The Dalit children had a different culture. Their eating habits are not the same. For all Dalit Bahujans, good foods means meat and fish. They relish such food. For Brahmin Baniya children, even a discussion about meat and fish makes them feel like vomiting. Guys, such differences have been created as a part of their upbringing. The teacher's attitude to the Dalit children depended on his own caste. If he was a Brahmin, he hated them and called them Sudras, who came from the families of fields hands. In his view, working in the muddy fields was dirty and unaesthetic. Really, all food comes out of muddy fields. According to these teachers, the children of upper caste families were the great ones. It was so because that didn't do dirty farm work. Their faces were cleanly washed, their clothes were cleaner, their hair carefully oiled and combed. They wore chappals, whereas those feed cattle or make chappals from the skin of the cattle don't have chappals to wear. Guys, the Dalit children were ignorant, ugly, and unclean. Guys, Kanchaila describes that the textbooks of higher classes had stories of Ramas and Krishna, poems from the Purans, and names of the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata. The Dalit students had never heard of these. The Telugu textbooks were filled with these Hindu stories. The Brahmin Baniya students were familiar with these. They saw they saw the images of the Devdas in their temples and they wore their names after the names of the god and goddesses. All these names appeared alien to the Dalit students. Moreover, the language of the textbooks was not the same as was spoken in the Dalit community. Textbooks Telugu was Brahmin Telugu whereas the Dalits were used to a productions based community Telugu. Guys, they didn't understand the English and the Telugu textbooks. The name of Kalidas was on the name of Kalidas was an alien to them as the name of Shakespeare. India has not found any Telugu textbooks written in the productions based community language. Guys, Kancha Elliot says that their god and goddess Pochamma, Patraju, Khattamasima, Katmaraju, or Birappa have not found place in any textbook. There are stories about them which leave the Dalit Bahujan people spellbound. Guys, he also said that the Brahmin writers of textbooks thinks that these divine gods are not worth mentioning. Even Telugu poets wrote no poems about them. The revolutionary leaders didn't become the subject of their writings. Guys, nobody thought that the Dalit Bahujans also have a soul that needs to be talked about. Even Pochamma, Masamma, and Potraju were not talked or written about. The English textbooks talked about Milton's epics Paradise Lost or Paradise Regained, or William Shakespeare's tragedies Othello or Macbeth. or Wordsworth poetry of nature or Telugu textbooks talked about Kalidasas Meghdut, Bhumira Potanna's Bhagandutam and Tikka's Mahabharatam. Guys, it made no difference to the Dalit Bhojans. They didn't share the contents of either of them. They can't understand these without the help of a dictionary. It makes no difference to them whether it is Greek or Latin that is written in Roman letters or Sanskrit that is written in Telugu. Guys, he said that the Hindu way of life is in contrast with the Dalit Bahujans' way of life in many respects. The male children of the upper castes were initiated into Hindu religion through the Upanyan. They had a white thread around their bodies and they were known as the twice born, the more pure and superior, whereas the Dalit children always remain once born. Guys, in the olden days, the sons of the upper castes were sent to Gurukuls. Now they are sent to English medium convent school. They, the very schools that were hated by the same Hindus during the freedom struggle. Thus, the Hindu have double standards, one to be preached and another to be practiced. They condemn English, yet they send their children to English medium schools. The Dalits are not conscious enough to condemn the complete dominations of Telugu medium school by the Hindu scriptures. They have no choice other than sending their children to schools that teach only the Purans or the epics. This is a paradox, and the Dalits have to live with many such paradoxes. Guys, Kancha Ilya found that Hindu boys and girls were married even in their childhood. He thought that the Dalit Bahujans also had the same practice. Later he learned that a Hindu widow remained a widow the whole of her life, or some of them were forced to die with their dead husbands. He was glad that such things didn't happen in the case of Dalits. Their girls could get divorced very easily, and the divorced girls or widow could get married again. The Dalit women are not required to struggle like Savitri, who had to struggle in order to bring back her husband. Kancha gives his own examples by saying that if suddenly his father were to die, his mother wouldn't have to die also. Moreover, if she so desired, she could get him a stepfather. There was not a single Dalit woman who performed sati after her husband's death. The Dalit women lived after their husbands' deaths, worked, brought up their children, and got them married. If the husband of a woman turned out to be worthless, she could marry even 3 or 4 times. The textbooks more Guys, the textbook's morality was different from the living morality. Through this essay, Kancha Ila finds that the ideals, men and women, and cultures of Hindus were different from those of Dalit Bahujans. In Hindu text, a knowledgeable man was one who knows the Vedas, and a courageous person who was one kills enemies, even if the enemies are friends and relatives. In the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata, knowledge and courage were defined in these terms. But among the Dalit Bahujans, a knowledgeable person is one who has knowledge of social functions, one who knows about sheep breeding, agriculture, rope making, one who can diagnose the nature of disease of animal and human beings. A courageous person is one who can fight tigers, lions, snakes, wild wolves, who can travel deep into forests, swim the rivers and find the missing goats and sheep. Thus, Kanchailya draws examples from the life he has seen in his community and uses these examples to challenge the dominant ways of Hindu thinking.